No matter what they do, you stay. No matter what they say, you stay. You make excuse after excuse because you know they can be better. So why do they keep proving you wrong? But then, when your heart is ripped out and you have nothing left to give, they are still the same. The only difference is you're empty. That poem was Codependency in a nutshell. Hello, my name is Katie Ann, and today I'm going to be explaining a little bit about what a codependent relationship looks like and some signs that you are in a codependent relationship. 1, you prioritize their needs over your needs constantly, even if it hurts you. So an example of this is, let's say that, this is an extreme example, but just to put it in context, let's say that you have a alcoholic boyfriend or girlfriend and you have a job that requires you to get up early, but your alcoholic boyfriend or girlfriend calls you every night at midnight and says like, hey, I need you to come pick me up because I don't have somewhere to drive, right? I don't have someone to drive. So you got to get up at 4 o'clock to go to your job, right? But this overbearing need to help them and prioritize them getting home safely every single night outweighs the fact that you have to get up in 4 hours. So basically you're putting their well-being and their needs and their asks of you before your own well-being and your own needs. You don't want to get up. You don't want to go get them every single night because they're drunk and they can't drive. But you do it anyways because you have this overbearing need to prioritize their feelings and their emotions because you're so scared that they will leave you. 2, you feel responsible for their actions, emotions, problems, or behaviors. So it's kind of like feeling like you're a mom, right? And if they mess up or they screw up, you feel like you're bearing all of that weight because you're like, oh, I'm a mother, like I should. You're not obviously their mother. This is a significant other or a friend or whatever, but maybe you are a mother actually, but it feels like you are this parental figure in a way where you are constantly telling them like, hey, don't do that. Hey, don't do that. But then when they mess up or they continue to do that, you feel completely responsible for that. Like, oh, like I should have said something differently. I should have acted differently. This is my fault. You're not putting the blame and the responsibility on that person for their action. You're putting the blame on yourself, kind of like in a parental type of way where you're like, oh, well, I feel so disappointed in that person because, I should be better. I should be different. I should have said something differently. 3, you make excuses for their actions or their bad behaviors or the way that they mistreat you. Like, oh, well, he's getting better. She's getting better. She's trying to change. She's trying to do this differently. Like you just constantly feel the need to excuse their behavior. Like, oh, well, like he cheated on me, but, it's okay because he said he's not going to do it again, right? Like, or like, I can use one of my exes for a personal example. Well, he used to be addicted to the P word, right? And I would just make constant excuses because he was like, oh, well, I'm trying to change. And my codependency in that relationship, like, led me to believe, okay, well, he's trying to change. And then anyone who was like, well, maybe you shouldn't be with him. Maybe he needs like therapy. No, he said he's trying to change. Like, like it's okay because he's trying to change. So that's kind of what that feels like. You make constant excuses for the person. 4, you stay in toxic patterns and in toxic cycles because you really think that you can change them. Like you truly think that you have the power to change them. Again, I will go back to my past relationship where he would like just constantly mistreat me, whatever. And I genuinely thought that I held the power to change this person. Like I genuinely thought I could heal them and save them from themselves. And I did everything to save this person from themselves. Everything. To the point where I was empty. But you stay in these toxic patterns because every time they mess up, you're like, okay, well, I'm helping. I'm trying to change that. I'm helping. You know what I mean? Like, I can't abandon them now because I'm healing them. I'm helping them. And you really have this overbearing belief that you are healing them and you are helping them and that you can genuinely, like, you genuinely have the potential to change them. And this is not to take away from your worth that you can't help a person or you can't change a person. But bottom line is, if a person doesn't want to change or they don't see the need to change or they're in denial, they're not going to change. And it doesn't matter how much you give to another person. It doesn't matter. They're not going to change. 5, you're afraid to set boundaries because you're scared to be rejected or abandoned. So this one is really difficult because even though this person keeps interfering with your life and keeps hurting you, let's say, because it's a good word for it, even though this person keeps doing these things, you're scared that once you set that boundary, they're going to leave. They're going to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm dipping. I don't have a need for you anymore because, you're not providing value to me anymore if you're not doing these things to me. And you genuinely believe that about yourself. 6, your self-worth is very much tied to their need for you. This is really difficult too because you feel like if they don't need you, then you have no purpose because you've become so tied into them emotionally and just like so invested into them that you feel like outside of who they are or their need for you, you have no worth. You feel this way. You feel like if you stepped away from this situation, you stepped away from giving them care or whatever, then you would have no purpose. Like that was your sole purpose in life. This feels like your sole purpose in life. It's not true, but that's what codependency looks like in a relationship. You also feel kind of like empowered, like, wow, I'm really helping this person. Like, wow, they really need me. Like, it's like a sense of like glory where you're like, wow, I'm literally helping this person change. You're most of the time not, but you feel this way because you're putting all of your everything into doing this. I'll use another personal example of my ex where I literally bought books. I signed him up for therapy. I did everything. This is so embarrassing, but I even went to the point where I went and got him a flip phone so he couldn't watch the P word on his phone, you know what I mean? But like you feel this sense of like glory around the situation because you feel like, oh wow, like I'm really, really helping this person. Like I'm really trying to help this person. And usually this is when you feel the best about yourself, which it shouldn't be like this. But if you're in a codependent relationship, that's how it feels. It feels like this person really needs me, and if they don't need me, then I'm nothing. And sign number 7, you feel kind of guilty and anxious when you focus on yourself and when you focus on your needs. This is something that is not as obvious of a sign because you kind of don't really know that this is how you're feeling. But it's like every time you try to put time and effort and care into yourself, or you're like, hey, I'm doing this for me, and they're like, well, I need you, but I'm like, well, I need this for me. You're like, well, like I really got to do this. I really, really do got to do this. So you do it because you have to do it, but like the whole time you're like, oh, I really should be like, trying to help them out. I remember multiple instances where I was at work and I was like, all I could focus on, like I needed to be at work, obviously. I needed to focus on that. But the only thing I could think about is how guilty I felt for not being there for that person in that one instance. Codependency really boils down to feeling like you are abandoning yourself to get the illusion of love, because rarely is codependent relationships love, but you do give so much of yourself, all of yourself, to these people and to fix them and to change them. And at first it feels good because you're like, wow, I can really make a difference in this person's life. And then slowly you start to lose yourself slowly and slowly until there's not a person left and you don't even recognize yourself in the mirror. You don't even know who you are anymore. So yeah, that's codependency. Those are some signs of codependency. If any of these resonated with you, feel free to reach out to me and I can explain a little bit more. Other than that, yeah.